It's Independence Night on Mixing Night. Tonight, Ken breaks down income streams for independent artists, songwriters, producers, and engineers. Topics include masters, publishing, sync placements, streaming, social media payouts, music sales, mechanical royalties, and distribution. We break down who gets what and how to collect it. Indie artist Coburn is in the studio with us tonight to talk about song release strategies and keeping your album project on track. Get your questions ready. Sync agency Magnetic head of licensing James Panapinto discusses winning strategies for indie artists with sync placements. Tonight we're giving away 2 copies of GreenHAAS from Mixing Night Audio and 2 one-year memberships to Session Studio. It's all happening on Mixing Night right now. Welcome to Mixing Night. I'm your host, Ken Lewis, here with the lovable hellhound Mazakeen, holding down treats and security. Big shout out to our Mixing Night community tonight. This show is for you, Independence Night. I am dropping all kinds of knowledge for indie artists, producers, songwriters, and engineers tonight, especially where your money flows after you create something. Tonight, I am talking about masters, publishing, sync placements, streaming, social media payouts, music sales, mechanical royalties, distribution, and most importantly, who gets what when all of these things happen. Very important. If you are a bit cloudy about what all these things mean, stick around. I'm showing you everything. Also, jump on the chat roll and ask me questions. I can see you all in front of me tonight. Ooh, can I right now? Where's my chat roll? No chat roll. Well, I will be able to see you tonight in a minute. But I brought some killers to level you up tonight. In the studio tonight, I have indie artist Coburn. I've been producing Coburn's album, and it is amazing. It's amazing. Coburn and I will be talking release strategies as well as how to keep your project on track and organized using Session Studio. And we are giving away 2 copies of 1-year subscriptions for Session Studio tonight, as well as 2 copies of my own Mixing Night audio plugin, GreenHAAS. I fucking love GreenHAAS. It's such a cool plugin. Enter to win right now in the description of the video you are watching right now. Go enter, do it, but don't leave us. Don't leave us. Come right back or just open up a new tab. You know what to do. You do not have to be live to win, but you do need to be live to enter. Sorry, restreamers, gotta get you here live. Get your questions ready for Coburn and follow her at @CoburnOfficial. And while you're at it, follow us at Ken Lewis Producer and at Mixing Night Audio. And I never ask you guys to do this, but please like and subscribe the channel. We're trying to grow the YouTube channel right now, and your help is super appreciated. So a couple big announcements. I am now a co-owner of a high-end boutique sync agency representing incredible independent artists for music placements in film, TV, video games, commercials, etc. I just founded Magnetic Music Group. I will tell you a lot more about it in the show. I'm very excited. And we have a sync music segment with James Panapinto, our head of music licensing at Magnetic. He's talking best strategies for independent artists to win with sync music opportunities. It's a great segment. You do not want to miss it. And finally, my second Grammy arrived. I now have stereo Grammys. Here's my Alicia Keys Grammy. And there's my Taylor Midnight's Grammy. So I'm just going to flex a little bit right now. And yes, they finally are here. The new Grammy is for mixing Hell's Kitchen, the Broadway cast album. Thank you so much, Ann Mancelli and Alicia Keys. What an absolute honor and opportunity to be able to mix on that album. New York, concrete jungle where dreams are made. Yeah, that one. Yeah, there's a Broadway version of that, and I got to mix it. Whoa, mind blown. And in honor of the incredible indie artist Scrizzly Adams signing to my sync agency Magnetic, I am going to sprint mix his song Tipping Point tonight. This is a super challenging sprint mix, and I'm going to sweat, but hopefully I'll pull it together. So why sprint mixing, Ken? Why? Sprint mixing trains your gut instincts. It shifts your focus away from the gear and back to the music. I set 10 minutes on the clock. I have 30 randomized mix stems, and I got to make the very, very best rough mix that I can in only 10 minutes. That's about 20 seconds per stem for every decision I'm going to make, and really trains your instincts. It's kind of like being front of house mixer for a live show with like no sound check. So, okay, we have a packed show tonight. Enter the giveaway and come right back to us. If you have a creative friend who needs to know what we are showing you tonight, tap them in right now. Welcome to Mixing Night. Let's fucking go! Okay, it is sprint mixing time again. Where am I gonna... Let's see, where's the sprint? Sprint mixing. 10 minutes on the clock, and I am volume all the way up, and here we go.
Push comes to shove, and you've had enough, and you don't want me around. Is this the tipping point? When the motor gives out. When push comes to shove, and someone look, 'cause I won't be around. Is this the tipping point? Where the motor gives out. When push comes to shove, you had enough, and you don't want me Is this the tipping point? Where the motor gives out. When push comes to shove, and you've had enough, and you don't motor gives out. Comes to shove, you need someone to love, 'cause I won't be around. Tipping point. Where the out. When push comes to shove, had enough, and you don't want me around. Is this the tipping point? Where the motor gives out. When comes to shove, you need someone to love, 'cause I won't be around. Is this the tipping point? That we've lost control when we never really had it. See the deal this long. I know how for you to take, 'cause you swore that you weren't gonna go run and tell your mother that I was the one. So why the hell bother? You don't love me now like you love me. It's all it's tipping point. Lies say that we've lost control when we never really see the deal. Don't do this alone, and I know it's so hard for you to take, 'cause you're gonna go run and tell your mother that I was the one. So why the hell you don't love me now like then? Was this all at the beginning of the end? Is this the tipping point? Got lies say that we've lost control when we never really had it. See the devil don't do this alone, and go run and tell your mother that I was a man. Just park the car and quick Genesee. Put in your heart, then give. Fire it up and keep me. Park the car and quick cut our engine. See if we die when I put my I'm in your heart. Fire it up, but man, this is the tipping point. Park the car and quick the engine. See if it's when I the key. If it's in your heart, then give me it'll fire it. Keep me quick cut our engine. See if we die when I put my key in. If I'm in your heart, then give me one. Fire it up, but man, this is the tipping point. Park the car and quick cut. Car and quick cut our engine. See if we die when I put my key in. If I'm in your heart, then give me one point. 'Cause the motor gave. Yeah, the push came to shove. You don't need me. Yeah, yeah, this is the tipping point. 'Cause the motor gave. Yeah, the push came. You've had enough and you don't need me around. Yeah, yeah, this is the tipping point. Yeah, 'cause the motor gave out. 'Cause push came to shove. Lead me around. This tipping point. Motor gave out. Yeah, the push came to shove. We've had enough and you don't need. Yeah, this is the tipping point. Yeah, I don't care about you, just thought that we could get along. It was high on a feeling, I said I'd be there at 5:35, but I guess I was wrong. 'Cause I got lost thinking how we fly down the parkway, find faith in the driveway with a soul that was broken and a heart that's been beaten. Love you now like you loved me then. Was it so getting up to yet? Is this the tipping point? The motor gear. When push calls and shove and you had enough and you got me around. It's the tipping point. It's out. Love, 'cause I won't be around. Yeah, this is the tipping point. Gotta lie and say that we've lost control when we never really had it. You see, the devil don't do this alone, and I know it's so hard for you to war that you aren't gonna go run and tell your mother that I was the one. So why the hell bother? You don't love me now like you loved me then. Was this all the beginning of the end? Is this the tipping point? Where the motor gets out. When calls and shove and had enough and you don't want me. Is this the tipping point? Where the motor gets out. When push comes and shove, you need someone to love. 'Cause I won't be around. Is this the tipping point? Yeah, just park the car and quick engine and see if it starts when I the key. And if it's in your heart, then give me one reason to fire it up and keep leaving. Park the car and quick the engine. If it stops, put the key in. If it's in your heart, then give me one reason. Fire it up and keep me believing. Just park the car and quick cut our engine. See if we stop when I put my key in. If I'm in your heart, then give me one reason to fire it up. But man, this is the tipping point. 'Cause the motor gave out. Yeah, the push came to shove. We've had enough and you don't need me around. Yeah, yeah, this where the motor gives out. 'Cause push came to shove and you've had enough, 'cause I won't be around. This is the tipping point.
This is sounding like a mix in only 10 minutes. I could be a front of house engineer, but I would never subject myself to the volume levels. Anyway, Scrizzly Adams, Tipping Point. God, do I love this song. Go listen to it on Apple Music or Spotify. Scrizzly has always been one of my favorite artists. Now we have him signed over at Magnetic Sync Agency. I'm so thrilled about that. We are going to get him some fantastic sync opportunities. Let's see, what is up next? Speaking of Magnetic, let me give you guys a rundown of my new company, because I am super, super excited about it. So this is Magnetic Music Group. Never in my wildest did I think that I would be owning a sync company. So I've done very, very well in sync. Over the last 5 or 6 years, I've been signed to another sync agency named Lyric House. Love those people. They're fantastic. Lyric House has been a part of a ton of great syncs for me. Thank you very much, Lyric House. I appreciate you. But now I own Magnetic with my partners Doug Brandt and Michael Moss. We are a top-tier boutique small roster sync agency representing the highest quality artists, founded and run by 4 longtime industry veterans with storied careers. Boy, do we ever. Doug Brandt, one of my owner partners, is the founder of Phantom Power Trailers. He's been owning and operating that for 15 years. Before that was the CEO at Industry Creative Trailer Division of Ant Farm. And he's also a cutter and sound designer for Michael Bay and David Fincher and people like that. This dude throws down. Michael Moss is one of the best trailer composers in the entire damn world, and a musical partner of mine, which I am always thrilled to make music with him. The three of us founded Magnetic, and we are building out our roster right now. Man, do we represent some absolutely insanely great artists. I'm super thrilled. And we found James Panapinto as our head of licensing. We got James he has a storied career building another sync agency called Music Playground for 15 years. Now he's basically the front face of ours, head of licensing, and I think I've learned more about the intricacies of sync licensing in the last 3 or 4 months from James than I've known for most of my career. He's just so deeply knowledgeable. His ears are just razor sharp. So I think we're going to have a truly great run at sync. If you're an artist out there who makes incredible music, and you think you want sync representation from Magnetic, get at me and let's find out. I'm always interested in listening, but please, if you're not ready yet, you're not ready yet. You know, write some really great songs, really take them to great finish lines, write some great stories, and then get them to us, and we'll give it a listen. Maybe you'll join the roster. So what is next? I want to bring in an artist that I have been producing her project for, man, it's been a while. We're headed towards the finish line. Erin Coburn is the artist Coburn. You can follow her at Coburn Official. And I have been doing mostly vocal production and songwriting with Erin. Pardon me. And if anybody knows George Lever in Metal Land, George Lever produced the first 2 Sleep Token albums and has had a storied career as a producer. George has produced all of the music along with James Sanger, and I'm producing all of the vocals and writing all the lyrics with Coburn. Her album is just so good. So if you love heavy rock, go follow Coburn Official right now. Hopefully she is on her way up to the studio to join me. And Coburn and I are going to talk all of this, publishing and masters and all of these other things. She you know, this is her first major album release. It's not a major label. It's just her first, you know, big album release. She, guys, I need my PDF. Can somebody get it to me? She's learning all of the stuff that I'm going to be teaching you guys tonight as well. And, come on, where is it? So as soon as Coburn gets here and Mazzy calms down with that bone, she is going to Bone Town right now. Maz. Yeah, oh, who is the happiest girl ever? On another note, guess what I just got? The Nelly song Ride With Me just went 5 times platinum. This is off the Diamond album Country Grammar. And I recorded the vocals on Ride With Me before Nelly was signed. I recorded this at the Cutting Room in New York City when it was Nelly and Murphy Lee both looking for a duo deal. And next thing I know, Nelly is signed as a solo artist. Murphy Lee came up later. But when I was working on the song, it was Nelly and Murphy Lee. And I got to record the vocals on it. And I never heard the song again until the video came out for the single. And the video comes on MTV for the debut of the single, and I'm singing along with the hook, and I'm like, if you want to ride with me, why must I feel this way? Must be the money. And I was like, how come I know all of these lyrics? Oh, holy shit, I recorded this like 2 years prior. And that's a lot of times how it goes. So this was released in June 2000. I probably worked on it in 1998, and now it's 5 times platinum. So you just never know how these things are going to kind of circle back around for you. And that one, what a frickin' record.
Jonathan, I think they're ready.
So yeah, Aaron, come on in. Can someone? Where's my doc? I need my PDF.
We're waiting on that from Lori.
Tell her I need it right now.
Can we get Coburn set up? Or
Yeah, go ahead and bring Coburn in. So, hey Coburn.
Hello.
This is Coburn.
Hi. I've got a lot of stuff. My keys are very loud.
Yeah, try and keep the jingling to a minimum. What's that?
it's in the union.
Okay, don't show the screen. So, please meet Erin Coburn, aka Coburn. You can follow her at Coburn Official. She is a phenomenal artist, and I have the distinct pleasure of being able to produce her record along with George Lever. And boy, are we doing some damage. We've been writing this album together, which has been loads of fun. You know you're creating great music when there's almost nonstop laughter through the whole session, and
tears. There's been tears.
And tear. Well, depends on the song. There's definitely some serious songs, and there's definitely some very fun songs, and I've just had the absolute time of my life working on this project with you, and it's been really frickin' fantastic. So tonight I wanted to bring you in so that I know you've been learning this stuff on the fly as you go as well. Mazzy is all up in it right now, and so I wanted to kind of be able to bounce questions off of you, and here I'm gonna, so that people can hear you.
Lovely.
Boom.
I can scream if you need me to yell.
Well, yeah, this girl can scream like you just wouldn't believe. But guys, let me know if I need to move the microphone back to here. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is publishing. So I am in a publishing admin deal. I'm going to keep this back. I got it. I'm going to keep this over here and just fire away questions to Coburn when when I need to, but so I'm in a publishing administration deal. There's two types of publishing deals. There's what is this? This is, here we go, publishing deal types. So there's two types of publishing deals that you need to know about. There's co-publishing and there's administration. The big differences, other than the amount of percentage that they take, is that in co-publishing you give up your copyright, and the company owns and controls your copyright, usually for a set period of years, which is anywhere from 18 to 20 or so. Then usually it reverts back to you. But for most people's artistic lives, the company owns your copyright. And in a co-publishing deal, they own half of the publisher's share. So when $1 of publishing and songwriting income comes in, 50 cents of it goes to the songwriters and 50 cents of it goes to the publishers. So if you do a co-publishing deal, you have given up half of your publishing side, half of that 50 cents of the publisher side, to your co-publisher. You get 25 cents, they get 25 cents. As a writer, you still get your 50 cents, or that gets divvied up to all writers. Again, they own your copyright. Typically, for a co-publishing deal, they are supposed to provide creative support. So they're supposed to be connecting you to songwriting sessions and pitching your songs for sync opportunities and finding you ways to enhance and make your publishing more valuable. In my experience, and I've had a lot of it, they almost never do that. Co-publishers, sometimes they do, but for the most part, co-publishers acquire you, and then you're just one of hundreds, if not thousands, of writers on their roster, and good luck. If you're a real squeaky wheel, then they'll help you out a bit. That's kind of been my experience. The initial term is about 3 to 4 years. An administration deal, which is what I'm in now, I'm currently signed to Cobalt. Administration deal is usually a 90-10. So for the publisher's half, they take 20% of the publisher's half, which is 10 cents on the dollar. Writer gets 50 cents, publisher gets 50 cents. They take 10 of that 50 cents. They own nothing. They only administer and license your work for a set period of time, usually 3 years. They don't give you any creative support. They usually don't give you any advance. Usually you get an advance with a co-pub. But that also can be a trap, by the way. And in my own personal co-pub deal, very important for me, was I had my publisher carve out sync licensing. So when something is carved out, they don't touch it. So Cobalt collects everything in publishing land for me except for sync licensing. For the longest time, Lyric House represented my sync licensing. Now Magnetic represents my sync licensing. So I'm signed as a creative to Magnetic as well as an owner. Do you understand all the publishing things?
Slowly but surely, yes.
You're getting a grip on it?
But the grip, yes.
Yes. And the publisher side is, I guess the flip side to the publisher side is masters. So the master, let me see if I can find, do I even have a master sheet here? The master, man, Mazzy, you are really going to Bone Town down there. So the master is basically the physical recording, and so the publishing is the songwriting and the intangible work. The master is the physical recording. So when you do a cover song, the original songwriter keeps all of their publishing, but you have created a new master to that cover song because it's a brand new recording. So in the case of an album, there's master revenue and there's publishing revenue. And here, let's look at streaming. Do you know what the streaming split is between master and pub?
Was that the 79-21%?
Yes.
I remembered. See, I am learning something.
You are. She's a quick study. This is this says 80-20, but de facto it's actually closer to 79% that goes to all master rights and 21% that goes to all publishers and songwriters, which is highway fucking robbery to me. That's basically all of the major labels cutting backroom deals with all of the streaming companies. That's how that happened. Because the major labels own and control the masters. So, of course, they want all of the money to go to the masters. Surprise, surprise. So, if you're an independent artist and you control some or all of your master, that is going to pay you the bulk of what you will earn in streaming. And if you look at the streaming revenue splits, this says 80% of total streaming income goes to master, 20 to pub, close enough. And the where did it go? And the basic payout for 1 million streams is on Spotify is roughly $5,000. So you get 1 million streams on Spotify, all rights holders get $5,000. Virtually 4,000 of that goes towards the master, 1,000 goes towards all songwriters. That's just the way it is.
$1 million, and I was the only songwriter, and I released it independently, so all of that money was mine.
So her first big independent single is a song called Sleeve, and that streamed 1 million. Did it stream 1 million on Spotify? Mm-hmm. Well done, Coburn. How did it do on YouTube?
I have no idea.
So it was mostly.
It was mostly Spotify.
Hey,
yes.
you relax, babe girl. Jeez, whew. I'm gonna see if I can calm the girl down. So let's see. What's our next? I guess on to streaming. So that covers streaming, and then social media payouts, which are, you would probably know this better than me, but they're paltry as fuck.
Yeah.
And
from the actual platforms themselves, they're not as good as they could be.
let's.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
So for streaming payouts, we look at, you do really well on Instagram, right? Mm-hmm. So by this chart, you need, for $1,000 of income, you need 150 to 300,000 streams.
That's like views?
I would
on
assume that is correct.
Interesting.
Which sounds high. I think it's actually lower than that.
Yeah.
But that might be, this chart says uses or streams, and I wonder if that's 150,000 actual uses. So different people putting it on their platform. I know that's how TikTok works. So, by the way, all of these charts that I'm showing you guys are downloadable in the description. So you can download this whole thing. It's a well-organized PDF. Lori Lewis put it all together. She did a fantastic job on it. Thank you so much, Lori. I'm going to go through the whole thing tonight. It also has information on sync licensing, artist income sources, engineering income, producer income, and yeah. Okay. So we'll go back to publishing side breakdown. Can you guys hear me well enough? Publishing side breakdown is.
Can you move a little bit to your left, Ken?
I can try.
Other left?
Other left? Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So performance royalties paid to DSPs and to PROs like ASCAP and BMI, 50% to songwriter, 50% to publisher. If you don't have a publisher, you need to set up you should always set up an ASCAP or BMI account. You can set up CSAC, but really most people use ASCAP and BMI. Which one are you?
BMI.
You're BMI?
Mm-hmm.
I'm BMI
Yep.
as well.
And I've been to the place in Nashville, too. Very cool building.
Yeah?
Yep, they have a lot of events there.
Yeah, I think I pass the BMI building in LA all the time. I've been in there a couple times, but no super big reason to go. But as a songwriter, you set up a PRO account, usually with BMI or ASCAP, And then if you are unpublished by a major publisher, then you would set up a publishing entity through your same PRO, BMI and ASCAP, and they would collect your publisher's share as well and pay out to you. And I don't know what percentage they keep, but it's really low. I mean, they mostly pay out the vast majority of what they collect for you. Now, if we're talking is it social media? Not social media. If we're talking album sales, like physical album sales, that means CDs, vinyl, anything like if you put all of your songs on a thumb drive and sell it at a show or one of these like credit card things that they have now, anytime that you put your music or any music onto a physical medium, you must pay a mechanical royalty. The mechanical royalty is paid to the publisher, or it's actually paid to Harry Fox, but it's a publishing portion. And it goes towards, it basically gives you the right to manufacture something that contains those songs on it. And where's the split on this? There's a split here somewhere that shows, here we go. Payment from mechanical royalties. So mechanical royalty rate is 12.7 cents per song. So if you have a 10-song CD, and just to keep the math stupid simple, and you have 10 songs and you're selling it for $10, then you're paying 12.7 cents times 10 for mechanical royalty. And that gets paid to Harry Fox, who distributes it to your, or to the MLC now, I guess, can collect that as well. Usually with labels, there's a cap on mechanicals. Independents usually don't have any cap. You just pay for every song. So if there's 16 songs, it's 16 times 12.7. If there's 10, it's 10 times 12.7. You kind of get it. And the mechanicals go to the songwriters and publishers equally. And do you know who gets the entire rest of that sale?
No.
The master owner.
Oh, so that's why you need to own your masters.
That's a good reason to have your masters.
Makes sense.
So you've paid that. I guess it would be $1.27. Is my math correct for 10 songs?
I think so.
And the rest, which would be $8.73, would go towards the master owner. And usually, do you know what recoupables or off the top? Let's go off the top expenses. So off the top expenses usually happen if, say, you manufacture your CD and you paid $2,000 to manufacture all of your CDs, and then you start selling them at shows, and you own a portion of the master, and somebody else owns a portion of the master. You have to pay mechanical royalties from the first record sold, but the master, you can wait until the manufacturing is paid off the top, which means you get your money back for manufacturing, and then the master rights owners start getting paid.
Got it. So that seems fair, right?
Totally.
Like that's how it should be.
That is how it should be.
Okay.
And that that means basically if you have an investor and they say, okay, we're going to cover the cost of your manufacturing of your products and whatnot, then.
Is that different from recoupables?
Recoupables can be many, many things. So that is a recoupable expense that comes off the top before anybody gets paid. But recoupables are, let's look at it from a label standpoint. So labels usually sign you, they give you an advance. Is that advance free money? No, it is recoupable.
Yep.
And if they give you money to make a video, that is recoupable.
Makes sense.
And if they give you a marketing budget, that is You guessed it, recoupable.
With interest too, right?
No, but you'll be shocked. I think I've told you. You'll be shocked to know exactly how it's recouped through labels. If you have tour support, that is recoupable. All of these expenses that a label spends on you are recoupable income. And the way a major label deal works, which is why if you can avoid the major label system, avoid it. Say you get an 80-20 deal as an artist signing to a major label, which is a pretty standard deal nowadays. That 80% to the label, 20% to you. So let's say you sold, let's say it cost you $100,000 to make the record, and the record is $10 and you sell $1 million worth. How much money have you made?
None, because the label still needs to recoup.
So this is the way it works. When a label spends money on you and they have an 80-20 split, they only recoup what you owe them from your 20%. So the whole time they're making 80 cents on every dollar, you are only paying back what you owe 20 cents at a time. So if you owe them $100,000, then you must, let's see, what's the math on that? I think it's like, I think that's $1 million. It's either 500,000 or $1 million. My brain is not working exactly correctly. But say, okay, let's just take $1 million and you owe them 100,000. So that 100,000 is paid back 20 cents at a time. So if you have a $10 CD and the whole thing is, you know, that's everybody's cut. The label is getting $8. You're making $2. But that $2 is going towards your recoupables. So you're paying back that $100,000 that you owe the label $2 at a time. So it's going to take you 50,000 records sold before you pay back that $100,000.
Meanwhile, they're making $8
right.
profit, and like
exactly
you have to pay back, which is
$8 per times how many did you say? 50,000 records. So that when the label has earned $400,000 in profit, you are now break even. You gave them back their $100,000, and they are they're whole again with the money that they lent you, because an advance is a loan, and they have already earned $400,000. So if you sell 100,000 records, they have made $800,000, and you have made. Let's see, you paid them back their 100, and you have now made $100,000, and the label has $900,000 from.
They did pretty well.
Yeah, that is the trap of a major label, and you know, co-publishers work the exact same way, on a different split, a much more favorable split, but still, you're paying them back, you know, a quarter at a time until you're whole, and then you start making money, because the publisher in a co-publishing deal, if they advance you $100,000, you are paying them back from the entire publisher's share until they are whole. So $1 comes in, 50 cents goes to the publishing. That should go a quarter to you and a quarter to the publisher, but they take your quarter until that quarter has paid them back their $100,000 advance. So do the math, that's a lot. And if you're in a 3-year co-publishing deal, oh, Mazzie's starting to get spoiled.
She's upset about this too.
Exactly, Mazzie is pissed. She's like, are you kidding me right now? So if you're in a publishing deal, and let's say it's a 3-year deal, and you are unrecouped at the end of that 3 years, that deal just extends. And you might be in that deal for 4 years or 5 years or 7 years, until you are fully recouped, and then you can get out of the first term of your publishing deal. That's how that works, which is why I'm in an admin deal. You don't take an advance, so you don't owe them anything back, but you start getting paid from hitting the ground running. So $1 comes in, 50 cents goes to the publisher, they keep their dime, they give you 40 cents. You keep your 50 cents as a songwriter, so it's a de facto, you get 90% of your publishing and songwriting income. Oh my goodness, would you listen to this poor dog? She is so disadvantaged. Oh,
Did she finish that bone? I think she did.
No, she just got tired of it.
Oh.
So,
She's so
yeah,
cute.
that's how this shit works. Just so y'all know. And you know, with co-publishing, $1 comes in. 75 cents is supposed to go to you, 50 on the writing, 25 on the publishing, but they'll keep that quarter until you have recouped the money that you owe them a quarter at a time. So if you owe them $100,000, you need to make $400,000 in publishing to pay them back. Is that how the math? Yeah, that's how that shit works. It's a trap. And meanwhile, the publisher is like, hey, you know, if you need somebody to cover your studio costs, we'll cover your studio costs. You go write us a hit, no problem. And meanwhile, 100% of that studio cost is recoupable against your share of publishing, not their share. So that's how all of those things work. Guys, can I get the chat roll up on the screen so I can start shouting people out? I don't know where that went. Here, is it here? Hey, there's everybody.
There's the chat.
Let's give some shout-outs. Brad Bloom, haven't seen you here before. Kurt Codine, I fucking love that name. Sonny Brasco, Tarsia Renee, Jalen Goins.
Just a little bit to the left.
DeFingers, what's up? I love your segment tonight, DeFingers. It's coming up later. Seamus Cranley is on tonight. Stephen Ramos, MBI. We got to hang out with MBI in Scotland when we were there last year. That was a blast. Jimmy Larice just had his birthday. Happy birthday to you, Jimmy. Hope it was a great one. Amori Sounds. Who else we got tonight? Please fire away with your questions. We're going to go to James Panapinto's sync strategies in a moment. But everybody on the chat roll, we can see you now. Sorry, I've been ignoring you. Barack Tolbenki? I'm not even going to try. I just did, but I'm not going to try. Bill Dwyer, good to see you. Paul Nielsen. Man, we're popping tonight. Okay. Get your questions ready for Coburn and for us. We're going to go over, we're going to play James Panapinto from Magnetic. He is the head of sync license at my company, Magnetic Sync, Magnetic Music Group. And we're going to come back and talk about sync placements. So take it away, James.
Hey, Mixing Night. This is James Panapinto. I'm the head of sync at Magnetic Music. Super exciting to launch Magnetic with Ken Lewis, Doug Brand, and Michael Moss. We've got a great team and a lot of great things in store. I'm here today to chat about best practices in sync for independent artists, which is something that is very close to my heart, and it's a field I've been working in for over 15 years. One of the biggest issues I see with independent artists is they don't have their rights understood, available, or allocated correctly. This is critical from the start. You need to understand who the writers are on your tracks, who the publishers are, who controls the sound recording, and you need to have clarity on if that can be easily licensed and is available for use in sync. In your head, you might say, yeah, my friend's a co-writer on this track, great, we've got it all buttoned up. Everything has to be in writing. There needs to be contracts available, split sheets for the writers. We need to know what publishing entities control the publishing and who controls the sound recording. If that's all you as an individual independent artist, fantastic. If you approach a supervisor or a sync agent or an agency with music for a potential sync, they need to know this information off the bat. And there is enough music available in the marketplace that information isn't clear, isn't easily accessible. That's a big red flag, and they will move on from your song and work with music they know they can license from a trusted source. Trust is very big in this business, and you know the ramifications of licensing music that don't have the rights properly allocated can be devastating. So critical to have your rights sorted out. The next thing is your files and asset management. We need high resolution files of your mains. We need instrumentals. We need clean versions. If you have explicit lyrics, making either a clean version where you replace those explicit lyrics or a clean edit where you remove them will open doors for your music. There is simply some content that cannot license explicit lyrics. Instrumentals are a requirement at this point. If you do not have instrumentals, you are limiting opportunities for yourself. There are uses of music in sync, a significant amount, that are going to have dialogue and voiceover happening on top of the music. And no one wants to hear a voiceover with lyrics conflicting with it at the same time. So having those instrumentals on hand and available is critical. There are a lot of projects that only ask for instrumentals because of this. It's not the kind of thing where you can wait and say, oh, if someone likes my song, I will get them an instrumental. This is the kind of thing where you need to have this all available up front at the time of pitch. When I send music to my clients, I send the main, I send the instrumental, and I send the clean version, because I don't want them to have to take the time to follow up and ask for it, because this is the way our business works. And you know, let's make an effort to provide what they need before they ask for it and be that creative problem solver. In terms of stems are critical in trailers. They're very often requested for advertising because when we're working in these formats, we are editing and customizing music to picture. Ads are 30 seconds long. Ads are 60 seconds long, or 15 seconds long, or 6 seconds long. They are specific lengths. Your song is not that long. We're going to want to edit it and make it work with picture in the best way possible. If you have stems available, fantastic. It'll open more doors. Create stems when you execute your final mixes and masters. You know, I've seen trailer opportunities slip through because it's taken an artist 2 weeks to get back in the studio and print stems. You know, if you have them available, you will open doors. If they're ready day of, that's the best place to be. You know, this game is all about being prepared. It's about having your rights organized. It's about having your assets ready to go. The industry moves fast, and there is not time to circle back. That's all I got for today, guys. Thanks so much for having me. Cheers.
All right, we are back. Thank you, James Panapinto. I said it earlier. James has been with Magnetic for maybe 3 months now. I have learned more of the intricacies of sync licensing in the last 3 months from that dude than I have in the last, really my whole career. I didn't know shit about sync licensing until I signed to Lyric House, and then I learned a lot under that roof. And I'm learning so much more at a dead sprint running Magnetic. It's very cool. So we are hoping to get Coburn on Magnetic, yes, and make her a boatload of money.
It's about to happen.
Oh. when you guys hear Coburn's record, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's a sync dream. She has songs. Like, when we were finishing up, can I talk about Super Ugly?
Of course.
So, Super Ugly is going to be probably the first single. I think we're talking release strategies later.
Yes.
I think September is going to be the release of Super Ugly. Mm-hmm. When we were finishing up just a rough mix of it, because George Lever is going to mix the album, mm-hmm, we put up on the whole wall, like, Marvel movie fight scenes, and just played Super Ugly, and it was uncanny how amazing it translated. It just looked like it was supposed to, that was supposed to be the music for those big, epic Marvel fight scenes. Oh, yes, my God, it was intense. And you've got another song called My Darling Nightmare, which, mm-hmm, I'm calling it now is going to be the end credits song on some major movie. That song is just, every person who hears it, you just get the jaw drop.
That's a hack, though, is like playing, like if you want to know if your music is good for sync, figure out, you know, what movies go with what you're writing and then play the trailers to it and see if it lines up, or like play scenes and see if it works with it or it evokes that same emotion.
That's true. And yeah, one of my favorite things that James asked you was, you know, where do you see your songs? Mm-hmm. Like, if you could pick the ultimate sync placement for your song, mm-hmm, who would it be? Do you remember what your answers were?
I don't remember what it was. I had a whole list, and I'm getting a list together. I know, like, the Marvel movies were, like, the first, like, things I was thinking of, because I was thinking superhero, because a lot of the songs are touching on, like, different, like, abilities and things like that. So that was one of the big ones. That, and I did love, like, It, you know, like, the scary movies. Some of those scary stuff would be really cool to see some of that.
Well, especially My Darling Nightmare, when we were cutting the vocals to that, when we were writing My Darling Nightmare, Coburn and I just sat and had like a 2 or 3 hour conversation before we really started writing, and she was telling me that she kept having this recurring dream about Pennywise.
Very weird dream about Pennywise. We'll leave it at that, but yes, the It clown. I know, it's crazy. Mazzy says it's wild.
Don't be scared, Maz. Pennywise is not here, baby.
I think I'll save what that dream was about for like a Howard Stern interview or something. But
so
yeah, it was an interesting conversation.
And then when we were cutting vocals for My Darling Nightmare, we had you in this corner, and we had the scariest scenes from It up on the big screen, and the vocal performances we got out of you are stellar. Oh my God, they're so freaking good.
Those are some of my favorite like vocal performances I've ever done. I was when I listened to that song, I don't associate that with me. I'm like, man, I really love this artist. They sound really cool. And I've never done that before, or at least it's been a while since I've felt that about one of my own songs, which is really cool.
You absolutely murdered that song. I mean, the vocal takes on that were... I was just sitting here with headphones on, just going like, oh my God.
I think I have some footage of that, actually.
It's, you know, as a producer, that is your dream, to be able to get an artist into the zone of connecting with the song so much that they lose themselves and they forget about being sharp or flat or rushed or behind, and they just completely lose themselves in the emotion of the song. And you tapped into that so much. Oh God, it was so good.
That was so powerful. That was definitely one of the ones where I cried.
Yeah, I think I cried during takes. I was like, seriously. I was like, you know, I'd stop and I'd be like, don't look at me. Oh, you just stay over
That's
there.
That's how I felt.
Yeah, that was really crazy. And I'm sure on a future show, I'm going to show you guys some of that stuff. Cause
it's funny, this chat roll, everyone in here, if they listen to it, all they're going to see is Pennywise now.
Yeah.
They're going to be only people that can, like, you know, put Pennywise and My Darling Nightmare together.
I love it. And just so that you guys know, well, while you're watching this, if you see from the back camera, and I go, like, to here, so where the speaker to the right of the white speaker is right there, we take that speaker out and we put the C800G over there, and then I put the lyrics up on the big screen in front of Coburn, so that she has this big giant safety net, and anytime, you know, she doesn't have to be holding her phone in front of her face or anything. It's just...
That takes you out of it.
Yeah. And then, so it's lyrics, and then the whole rest of it was scariest scenes from Pennywise.
Yes.
And
total vibe.
And the performances we got.
Some of the things, like, not on My Darling Nightmare, but there were moments, like, on other songs where you were like, because I didn't have my phone in my hand, I was able to do movements or pointing or things like that, and that unlocked a whole new character and energy in those vocal performances.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I never thought about that, like, making a difference, but it just, I don't know, it immersed me more in what I was doing versus holding a phone and reading lyrics is kind of like...
Yeah.
But having them on the screen, it's like, okay, I know these words, but just in case I can...
Right. It's just a safety net.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, being able to glance up and just make sure that you have the next line is without having to actually read it. And, like, I have my phone here. We're broadcasting live on
Instagram
right now. But I have this little, like, suction cup phone holder thing. And when I need to... You know, if you don't have a big screen like I have, you can just get one of these suction cup phone holder things and find some place to put the artist's phone, you know, close to them, in front of them, so that they don't have to hold it. Because the difference between trying to perform and sing like this and trying to perform and sing like this is night and day. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Boy, we got a bunch of questions. Before I start taking questions, Jason Reynolds won the first 1-year subscription to Session Studio.
Let's go.
Which we've been using Session Studio to like organize your project, keep it on track, and
Yes.
and also like write lyrics with, and so all the lyrics go into Session Studio.
It's been a major tool.
It's been
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
And the ability.
Fail. Just want a second one.
Hey, that's awesome. And the ability to keep audio versions, and like you'll voice note something and you'll upload it to Session Studio and we just have it. And like if I need to, we looped verses the other day.
Yep.
At the very end of the session, I was like, here, let me just put up the verse loop in Session Studio, and you could listen to it all the way home.
Yep, and I did.
Just practice it.
Yep.
And yeah, Session's been amazing for us.
Yes.
So congrats. They just took your name off, but whoever just won Session Studio, you're going to freaking love it. Dig into that.
Yes.
And I think Coburn's going to show that in a little bit. But let me get back to sync licensing. So when your song is licensed in film, TV, video games, commercials, live performances like you know, stadiums or fashion shows or things like that. The licensee, the person that licenses it from you or the company, in my case Magnetic, they acquire a They acquire a sync license, don't they? So they acquire a sync license which only grants them the right to use that song with that opportunity. So it's that song with that scene, and everything is spelled out contractually. They can use this many seconds of the song. It's either like a you know, feature placement in the, say, a TV show, or it's background music, or you know, it's 10 seconds, or it's a minute and a half. All of these things pay differently. And a Netflix show that has a super wide distribution is going to have a completely different pay scale than, say, a Discovery Channel show that almost nobody sees. But the thing that I found amazing with sync licensing, one of my misconceptions with it originally was that, oh, I wanted to save my best songs for those big sync opportunities. And what I learned was you just take everything. Because I've had songs, the same exact song has licensed for like $2,000 or $3,000 and has also licensed for mid six figures. And no, the mid six figure license didn't give a shit about the $3,000 license. They do not affect each other at all. And that same song has licensed the entire gamut in between that. We've probably gotten 15 licenses for one song. And they're all different, and you just take them all because it's all free. It's not free money. You worked very hard for it, but it's all money that you would not have found otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So with sync licensing, in my experience, you almost need a sync agent and sync representation, because music supervisors, the cost of getting burned by an artist who, say, has a sample in there or has another co-writer that they don't tell you about, or somebody who owns a piece of the master and they didn't tell you, and then you license that song for a TV scene or a film, and then they get sued. They cannot risk that. So they're only going to trusted sources like Magnetic, and because a sync agent or a sync agency pre-clears all of the rights. So that music supervisor knows if I go to this sync agency, they will never send me a song that doesn't have all of the rights completely locked down. We know where the rights exist. We know we can clear it quickly, and we're dealing with people who do this on a daily basis. So finding a sync agency is truly key if you want sync success. When a sync comes in, half of that money goes to the master, half of that money goes to the writers and publishers, and depending on what kind of sync deal you do with which sync agency will depend on how much they keep and how much they pay out to you. But in my experience, you know, when I was signed to Lyric House and now Magnetic, it's found money, because the opportunities that they find you at sync, you were never going to find yourself. Those music supervisors were never going to come to you. They were only going to go to that sync agency. And if they couldn't get your song, they were going to get another song from another sync agency, and that was going to work just fine for them. So that's kind of how sync works in a nutshell. Let's see. What do you not know about sync? Or what were your misconceptions or...
What I wanted to know, this is actually what I've been talking about with like my entertainment attorney and things, because I'm trying to better understand the sync world, and like he's done some sync deals as well. So I'm getting, information from you, I'm getting information from him, and like it's been really cool exploring that world. But one of the things was there are co-writers on a lot of my songs. You're like a co-writer, and you're under Magnetic, and I'm under Magnetic, so that won't be a problem when it comes to me being, if we get like a sync and things like that. Not that the other one would be a problem, but you were talking about like one-stops and that being important. So when there's other songwriters, like I've written with George, and like, I have Sam Kubrick on some songs and stuff.
Right.
Shout out to Sam, he's awesome. Like,
Shout out Sam.
yes, she shouts out Sam. So
you keep talking.
yeah, so I guess what I'm asking is, like, when it comes to having co-writers, because a lot of people are co-writing, and people shouldn't be afraid to co-write because it's such a beautiful thing. But when it comes to co-writers in sync, and if your co-writers aren't part of the same sync agency, how do they get paid? Do you end up paying them out, or does the sync agency send them a check?
There's several ways to do it. The easiest scenario, which you started with, is called a one-stop. And basically a one-stop song means that all of the rights for that song are represented by that sync agency. And the music supervisor only needs to go to one place, they can get that song, they know the agency can clear it lightning fast, they don't have to go to 3 different places and try and clear it, because place 1 might clear it fine, and place 2 might clear it fine, and place 3 might be a pain in the ass and screw the whole thing up. And even if some of the writers or master holders aren't a part of that sync agency, like with Magnetic, we would work to reach out to all rights holders and at minimum get their approval to pitch, and if we only have their approval to pitch but we don't represent their rights, then we would have a conversation like, okay, what are you wanting us to be able to pitch for? What ranges are you willing to sync this song for, so that we don't bring a sync to you that you're like, why did you know?
Yeah.
No. But
would that be in a contract, or would that just be like an email thing, like having that in writing?
I think that would be in a contract. It would be in a pre-clearance contract.
Got it.
And just like with your contract, you have the ability to set a minimum window of, hey, don't sync any of my songs for less than this amount of money. Or don't sync any of my songs for like Republican campaigns, because fuck those people. Yeah, I said it. But the pre-clearance, you hope you get everything one stop, and we may collect all rights, or we may collect the entire check, and we may pay out to all rights holders, even if they're not a Magnetic artist. We can still represent their share of that song and pay them out accordingly.
Got it.
So that would be the easiest way, one stop. But I've also done really well with two-stop sync. It's much harder, and you lose a lot of opportunities. Just so many opportunities come in as one-stops. But a lot of the really big opportunities take, like, a film company is going to do their licensing, and they're going to sit on that song for 3 or 4 months sometimes. Sometimes it'll have to clear in 24 hours. Sometimes you're waiting 3 or 4 months. So to go to a two-stop song, they know, okay, these rights reside at Lyric House, those rights reside at Magnetic. Okay, we know everybody at both of these companies. We're going to go here and clear it, and we're going to go there and clear it. And then when it gets paid out, the portion that Magnetic controls gets paid out to Magnetic, and the portion that Lyric House controls gets paid out to Lyric House, and then they pay out the rights holders that they represent, and they keep their share of whatever the deals are. So that's like a 2 or more stop, the way that that sync works. The only time that sync is not 50-50 to the master and pub is when you have cover songs. Because if you're syncing like a major hit that has a cover version, you can better believe that the songwriter is going to take more than the person who covered it. So with the master, you're still going to get, hopefully a decent chunk from that sync, but the person that wrote that original that you're covering is probably going to take the lion's share of that sync, and that's only on cover songs. Otherwise, it should always be 50-50 master and publisher-writer. Let's see. What else do we need to know about sync?
That was my main question. That was the big one. That was there.
And you'll find, like, with a lot of one-stops, you'll have, like, a ton of these, like, reality TV shows, and they license a shit ton of music, and they're licensing so much music for all of their shows that they're not trying to two-stop anything. They're going to, they may take 5 songs from this sync agency and 6 songs from them and 2 songs from them and 3 songs from them, and typically they only pay out, X amount of dollars per license. You can't really push it up. It's going to be what it's going to be, or you just pass on it. And I found the biggest money in sync to be in trailers. So a song that I co-wrote and produced on recently got on the trailer of the movie Americana, which has Sydney Sweeney and
Wild.
I can't remember the male lead, but he's such a scene stealer. He's amazing. But we got a big fucking check for that. And so whenever they use your music in, like, the trailer to advertise the show, that's typically a much bigger check than in-show usage. Like, we caught the trailer for Shameless Season 10 once, and we got 5 in-show episodes, and the in-show episodes paid a little less than half of what the trailer paid. And so we did real well with that.
Yeah.
And that's, the other thing is, unless you've taken an advance from your sync company, there's no recoupables. That's just income.
Yeah.
And, it comes in and it's yours. And you can use it. I was having this conversation with an artist today. Like, if you take tour support from your label, that's fully recoupable only out of your piddly little 20% of whatever you're getting or whatever your split is with your label. If you're getting a sync, that is your tour support. Every dollar that you get that belongs to you, and you can use that much more effectively.
Reinvest it.
And reinvest in your own career.
I had a question.
Hit me.
That you've actually said this before, but I want to make sure. So you've said that you don't have to release songs to sync them, right?
Correct.
And that is only when you're signed to a sync agency?
No.
Okay.
No,
How does that work?
That's any time. So, if you have an artist persona, and like you have the Coburn persona,
Yes.
and your songs need to be, something that you would be able to play on stage and put your heart and soul into. But if there's a sync opportunity that comes up and you're like, I wrote this song 3 years ago with somebody and it doesn't really fit on my artist project, but I've always loved this song, and can we just license this as, for Aaron instead of Coburn?
Yes.
And nobody cares. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
So you can release or you can license songs in Sync World that you never release publicly. You don't have to put them on streaming or SoundCloud or nobody has to know. And you can earn money like that as a sync writer. And a lot of major songwriters who can also sing really well are writing constantly for sync. And sometimes you hear their voice on it, and sometimes they're just a writer and somebody else that they're co-writing with is the vocalist. And then they may have their own project that's their own artist project that they're really passionate about that music. But you can write for sync until the day you die. And you can be a songwriter until the day you die for yourself or other people. And that's one of the beauties of being a songwriter. And, most artists have, a shelf life of but so many albums or but so many tours. And I think you're going to have a very long artist life. But plus, this girl's been touring since she was 12 years old. So
true.
she has put the work in, and now it's really paying off in a big way.
Enjoyed every second.
Yeah.
Even the hard seconds.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. If you don't go through the struggles,
Yes.
First off, the struggles make for great songs.
They do. They
And,
do.
You know.
Yeah.
And if you don't go through the struggles, you don't appreciate the great moments.
Yes.
And I've seen a lot of artists get these big opportunities too quickly and not understand the specialness of what they have.
Yeah.
And then they don't understand that the work that it takes to repeat that success. And they never find that second success. And, 2-3 years down the road, they're like, why did everything fall apart? Well, it's because you didn't put the fucking work in to repeat that success. Success is not a formula. It's, get up and work every day.
Yep.
And
Consistency.
that's one thing that I'm super impressed with you, and one of the reasons that we're working together is you have the same work ethic and drive that I do.
Yeah, you said I'm like a mini-me of you.
You are. Well, what I said was you are far more talented at your age than I was at my age.
Oh.
That's exactly what and it's the God's honest truth. But
shucks.
But the drive of just waking up every day and this is my job and this is what I do, and even if it wasn't my job, I'd probably be doing this anyway if I possibly could, is the drive that I see virtually every successful person has. Yeah. It's just
you live and breathe it.
Yeah, we don't have a choice. This is what we would be doing anyway. Yes. As I just saw an Ed Sheeran interview, and he's like, this is what I love doing. Yeah. This is fun for me. When I get a song idea, I get like
excited. Yes.
It's the exact same for people like us. We love to create, and we love to just be around music and other creatives. Yeah. And people who aren't like us don't understand that. But they love our music. So
creative mind is a different place, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat understand that, because I'm sure a lot of them are creative minds.
Speaking of chat, let's give some.
Yeah, there are more questions.
Yeah, let's take some questions.
Someone said, "I love sync money." I think we all do.
I'm hoping to make you a lot of sync money. I think you're going to do really, really well at sync.
Sure.
We got a bunch of new people on the chat roll. Jimi Hendrix is back.
Wow.
Clay Lahat? Who's for those that don't know, I have a plug-in company called Mixing Night Audio. Go figure. We have ALLCOMP on sale right now for 40% off for July 4th. And if you use the code July40, it's on the agenda whenever you guys see the agenda on the screen. The first 10 people that use the July 40 code get ALLCOMP at 40% off, which is the best sale that we'll run again until Black Friday.
That's a fight. You use it on all of our vocal sessions, right? That's on every vocal session.
And your headphones.
And my headphone, which love my headphone mix. That is such a big difference in, like, when I record at home, like, versus when I come record here. I hear every little nuance, every breath, every lip smack.
That's ALLCOMP.
I can hear myself think.
The only plugin that I use to monitor your vocals and for your headphones is ALLCOMP. And
it's delightful.
The way that I dial it in is you can kind of go from a whisper to a scream, and it doesn't really change level in your head, so that you can dig in so emotionally. Yeah. Can you talk about, like...
There's a lot of dynamics in the new music. Like, it's not metal, but it's not metal. It's a mix of hard rock, metal kind of vibe. So you have, like... I'm supposed to be looking at that camera, right? Hello, people.
Yeah,
it's a mix. Well, you know this. It's a mix of things, but there's so many dynamics with it. There's, like, one moment will be, like you said, whispering, and then the next moment I'll be going into a scream to build up into a breakdown. Like, but you don't have to stop and, like, take me out of the moment to, like, get the headphone mix to be right for this section, then right for this section, then right for this section. It's just I'm able to go through. If I want to do, like, My Darling Nightmare, for example, the song we were talking about earlier, one full take, like, of the entire song, which the song is like 6 minutes, 5 minutes. It's the longest song on the record. It's a long one, but it's a journey. It's a grower of a song. It starts off very soft and quiet, and it grows into something massive and really powerful. And again, like, having ALLCOMP on that and being able to hear every little nuance, and then also scream into the microphone and it not blow my head off.
Yeah.
It's great.
And on that song, you literally start whisper quiet.
Super quiet. You were asking me, you're like, how quiet can you get? And I'm like, let's find out. It was cool.
As a vocal producer, that's a real cheat code to be able to just ask you to go like, can you sing that softer?
Yeah.
Even softer, as soft as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And for you to still be able to completely hear yourself clear as a bell
Big
and
difference.
emote super softly, but know in that exact same vocal take that you're going to be building up to, by the end, you're belting out lines
Yes.
and you're going to these fry screens.
I'm getting emotional thinking about that whole vocal session.
Yeah, I mean, as a producer, it's a total cheat code.
Yeah.
And
Cheat code's a good word to describe it.
yeah, the cheat code actually right now is July 40. So you have until.
And yeah, congratulations to the winner, the last winner.
Yeah, who? Let's see. The new Track Cats asks, what is the ALLCOMP headphone mix? I believe that there's a preset that's called Ken's Headphones, and that's basically my starter for my headphone mix. And depending on the vocalist, I may tweak it a little bit. If it's a song like My Darling Nightmare, then I'm tweaking it a little bit. And when I check the mic, I'm literally whisper quiet. And then I will go into a fucking scream! And I will make sure that my headphones reflect that before I ever put an artist behind the microphone. I'm always checking the mic myself. I'm always starting with the Ken's Headphones preset, and then I'm dialing it in from there if needed. Usually that's just the thing. But also then after, we do that with you a couple times, I save the Coburn preset, and then you walk in for a vocal session, and it's just like,
we're ready.
All right, the Coburn preset, set the mic same levels it was before, and we're ready to go, and you don't even think about it.
Yeah. I think the headphone mix is one of the most, that's Grammy studio, stuff, Like, if you have a great headphone mix, then, that you're going to get such a good performance out of the person that's there, or different performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for people to hear My Darling Nightmare.
Me too.
Oh my God. It's such a... Remember we talked about this song. You absolutely will hear that song. Yes. Let's see. Nason asks, hey Ken, if I don't sample in my tracks, are there any other gotchas when attempting to sell my music? That's the other thing in sync. Samples kill you. You can't use samples because you can't clear the rights for the samples. But the other thing that you don't realize about sync is if you've got if you're like leasing a beat from BeatStars, or you may buy a beat but you may not get the sync rights for it. So you've got to be really careful on these beat sites that you actually have the rights to sync the music that you're acquiring, and if you don't, you can't sync that stuff. Don't pitch it, you just take the L on it and just put it on streaming. But like splice sample packs, totally fine. Anything that's a royalty-free sample pack, you can create whatever you want with it, and you can use that at sync. Royalty-free packs and splice packs are totally fine. It's samples off of records, things that other people created and wrote.
Like derivatives, kind of, right?
Yeah. And things that, like, off of BeatStars and sites like that you don't acquire all of the rights for. You got to be super careful at sync. And that's one of the reasons that companies like Magnetic exist. Especially with the hip-hop artists that we're acquiring, we are very careful to be like, is this a BeatStars? Where'd you get it? Who did it? Where are the rights? So, there you go. Let's see. Astro Joey's asking about AI tracks. My general thought about AI tracks in sync is music supervisors don't want to fucking think about using AI tracks. They may slip somewhere, but music supervisors aren't coming to a company like Magnetic or making them themselves and going like, I'm gonna screw everybody.
Yeah. Well, there's that AI band now that's been kind of, have you seen that?
Oh, God.
Going around?
Yeah, they probably just have a great marketing arm for the company.
That's interesting. I haven't read too much into it, but
yeah,
it's a different world.
Yeah, I mean, AI, it definitely has a chance to hurt sync opportunities, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as we all think. Not for sync. For everybody else, we're totally cooked.
Oh.
Let's see. Let's take a real quick break and go to ALLCOMP in 60 seconds. so that I cooked up these little 60-second how-to videos so that you can see a little bit of the other side of what this thing does. I'm going to show you what I did to this horn patch with the heat chain. Ugh, it's stupid. That ALLCOMP is, so ALLCOMP is basically my five of my process chains under the hood, super easy to use with a fierce drop down of tone shaping tools. And every single one of those chains has a bunch of stuff going on under the hood. They're all different. So take it away. This is ALLCOMP in 60 seconds.
Let's hear what ALLCOMP heat chain can do to this boring brass patch. Let's start by pushing from saturation into distortion. These horns are more aggressive already. Now, let's awaken the mid-range. Do you hear the presence of that brass coming out? Let's add Oxidate Reverb Engine 4, a bright plate that's going to let those notes really carry. This is getting good. Let's hear the before and after. Stunning results with the ALLCOMP heat chain.
We are back. That's ALLCOMP in 60 seconds. You can get ALLCOMP on sale. The first 10 people that buy it can use the coupon code July40 and get 40% off. You ain't going to see that deal for many months. So go grab it and get the fucking best headphone mix on the block. I want to go over DistroKid real quick because I think most people don't really understand distribution and what it is and how it works and all of that stuff.
Be great to cover, yeah.
Do you know much about DistroKid?
Yeah, I've actually used DistroKid for all of my releases. Well, most of my releases. My first 2 albums were through CD Baby.
Okay.
And then I switched to DistroKid, and then I did DistroKid for Sleeve, and it was so straightforward. Like, everything on it was straightforward. So
Yeah, I'm going to show you guys real quick just so you know, if you guys can show my screen. So I'm in my own DistroKid account right now, and if I want to just post a new song up on DistroKid, I can just go to Upload Music, and then see all of these services. This tells you all of the services that DistroKid automatically shoots your song out to. So it's going to hit Spotify, TikTok, Deezer, Savant. I've never even heard of most of these. Apple Music, YouTube Music, Tidal, Boomplay. Who the fuck are these people? iTunes, Amazon, iHeartRadio. So DistroKid does all of the work for you. And then you go number of songs, if it's an album or a single. Has this been previously released? No. Who's the artist band? Obscene Stealers is my group with Michael Moss, the movie trailer boss. Michael is my partner in Magnetic, and he's one of the premier film trailer composers in the entire world. And then, are we already an artist on Spotify and all of these things? Yes, 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 yes. Release date, record label, language, primary genre is going to be epic as fuck with me and Michael. Secondary genre, you can post up your album cover here, and then song title, add featured artist if you have one. Like we have a song with Scrizzly Adams, who I sprint mixed, Obscene Stealers featuring Scrizzly Adams, a song called Young Man, which is, man, we're going to make so much money in sync with that song. It is so good. And then you have, if you have a Dolby Atmos version, which all of the songs that I produce have Atmos versions, you can do that here. Is it a songwriter or a cover song? Music and lyrics. I'm kind of going quick through this because you can do it yourself. But you basically understand, and then you can set the price that you want to sell it for on iTunes and Apple Music and whatnot. Add credits for each song, and then you can get extra options if you want. And they're fairly self-explanatory. They don't cost very much. If you're releasing a lot of songs, then these costs add up. But if you're putting up a single every once in a while, then usually this stuff is pretty easy peasy. And then you can track splits on DistroKid. So this is one of the songs for Obscene Stealers, and we have all the splits already entered. And I can go to My Music, and I can see this is all the music that I have with Obscene Stealers, and what services it's on, and what the song titles are on, etc., etc. Then I can see all my song splits right here and who they're with. So DistroKid, super easy to use. Other services basically do the same thing, but just so you kind of demystify distribution if you don't really understand what it is, they basically do all the work for you. You have a back end that you can upload the thing, enter all of your information, and then they just shoot it out to everywhere. They don't promote it for you. That's your job. There's something like 25,000 songs a day that go up on streaming services. Nobody got time to promote all that. So, that's your job. But what they do is they put you in a position that you can then introduce people to your music. And hopefully they can find you algorithmically and things like that.
Hi, Max! I was saying hi to Max.
Hey, Max.
Max from Young Mosh is in the chat. Shout out to Young Mosh. We love you.
Shout out to Young Mosh. Young Mosh is another Cincinnati artist that we're working to acquire at Magnetic. Mm-hmm. And they're like trap metal, and they're fucking
They put on a hell of a live show,
like,
too. Yes.
I haven't seen them live.
They're
fucking
so
loud
much
for
fun.
these ears. But their music is ridiculous. Yes. Man, we got there's Matt, Max Guerrero. We got Astro Joey. We got AA Hit Music, Mr. SAK.
Hi,
SJK.
Nolan.
Faders Up, Tarsia. Who else we got on the chat roll right now? Jalen, good to see you. Nolan Monagold's on the chat roll. Max is the drummer for Young Mosh, and he's also a producer and recording engineer. Where does he work at? Blacklight?
Yes, and he has his studio, his own studio too. I think it's like he has 2 studios.
Does he?
Yeah,
now?
yeah.
Well done, Max.
He's doing a lot.
Yeah, he's super fucking
It's inspiring.
talented. I love seeing like
Yeah.
crazy talented Cincinnati folk.
And he works fast too. Like watching him, like, because we're actually doing a collaboration right now. I'm doing a collaboration with Young Mosh, and we're doing a cover, and then we'll probably be doing some original collabs too. But like, man, it's like a wizard with the key, with like the everything, zoom, 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 and it's like boom, magic. It's cool. It's really cool.
If you want to show the screen real quick, I'll just show you very quickly the Magnetic Music Group website. I fucking love this website. So this is just like, we just put this up.
That's so fun.
We have the flying cassette, and I love the logo. It's so like retro and awesome. We are a premium boutique sync agency. Mm-hmm. And then that's the About Us. The website is musicmagnetic.com. Musicmagnetic.com if you guys want to check it out for yourself. And then here's some of the placements we've all been involved in. And then some of the companies that we have done business with. So, yeah, we throw down. Can you show the folks your Session Studio account?
Yes, I would love to.
So, Coburn and I have been using Session Studio to keep her project organized. Mm-hmm. And why don't you take the driver's seat?
Yeah, I get to drive.
You get to drive.
Have you seen that meme of there's like this girlfriend and she's with her boyfriend and like they're driving and she's the one driving and then he's like holding on for dear life. Everyone hold on. I don't know where the steering wheel is for this part, for this thing. Oh, this chair's kind of high. This is fun.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, this chair's kind of low.
Hi, Instagram. Okay. All right, Session Studio. Where should I start? I have a little list because I was afraid I would get off topic and just start going on to a little ramble about it, but I absolutely adore Session Studio. So starting off with the basics, it is on the desktop, but you can also have it on your phone. There's an app on your phone, Session Studio, and I use both of them like every single day. It's basically a place where you can store all of your music, you can store all of your lyrics, you can store everything you need to know about the songs, like splits and things. Is the screen being shared? Can they see it? Okay.
Yes.
So as you can see here, this is like when I log into Session Studio, this is what I see. Here's a bunch of songs that I have been working on, that I have kind of just stored up. Some of them are part of the project I'm working on now, some of them are not, they're just different things. Some of the names are not the actual names of the songs, but I'll show you an example. So this is the song list. These are all of the songs I'm working on. You can also pin songs, so if there's something you're working on you want to get quick access to right away, you can pin it up there, which is a great feature. I think that's new. But yeah, so let's go to, we were talking about My Darling Nightmare. So it was created December 11th. It'll tell you date last modified. You can organize it with that as well, and other things. But within the song, so this is inside of the songs folder, you can store your bounces, you can store ideas, you can also upload audio, and once you upload it, you can choose whether it's an idea, whether it's a bounce, whether it's a mix, whether it's a master, and it will organize it according to each of those things. Let me know if I'm going too fast, by the way. I'm very excited. I'm very excited.
But this is like from voice notes to rough mixes to, you know,
hence
verse
why,
ideas or anything.
Exactly. Hence why, like, in the ideas section, for example, a lot of these are voice notes. And, like, in the bounce section, a lot of them are like, okay, these were different vocals I tried, these were different, you know, lyrics and things like that. So, yeah, that was super, super helpful. Now, let me, hold on, refer to my list. Okay. The next thing, within the song section, there are tabs, and the next tab is lyrics, so you can click that. You can put all of your lyrics here as well, so not only do you have your bounces, you have your ideas, you have your different mixes and things, you also have your lyrics tab, so you can put all of your lyrics here, and they've added a lot of really cool things with the lyrics, so hence new. You can, like, get suggestions, rhymes, different things. For a while I was using another software to get rhymes and things, but I've found myself working in Session Studio a lot now to get my rhymes and get different word suggestions or synonyms and things, so that's been a great tool. You can also change, like, the font and things, which is nice. I am not an organized person. I like to think of myself as. Actually, I'm curious, how many people in the chat are organized? If you think you're organized, say it in the chat. Or if you're not organized, say it in the chat. I want to know. Let's see, do the organized win or does the non-organized win in the chat?
I'm going to take a guess right now.
If we're mostly creatives in here, then probably unorganized, but I don't want to assume. But yeah, so I'm not a very organized person, but this has been great in helping me overcome that and change that a bit. I was the person for the longest time starting sessions and not labeling them, or, like, it would just be like untitled number 5, or, like, maybe not even a number, maybe it's just it's just a problem. But yeah, so this is great for that. The next thing is credits. So you can, right now we don't have credits on this, but we will be adding that. So this is anyone that was involved in making this song. So you can add a credit, which apparently you can add manually or scan a QR code, which is new. But yeah, if you're the artist of the song, performer, you can add songwriters, the production team. So that way you have everyone that was involved in that song on this track. So everything you need about the song is in one place. You have splits. So this is, you know, it will have like a visual, so it can show you. Like, right now we don't have splits because we haven't done splits yet for this, but yeah, it shows you, like, who's taking what and who did what on the song, which is nice to have in one place because, you know, you want to have your split sheets, but also being able to refer back to this is great. Because before session, I think I was like, okay, I got papers over here. I have, like, the session over here. The lyrics are in a totally different application.
Yeah, there are songs that I've forgotten who I wrote them with. Yeah. I mean, it happens.
Yeah, especially, well, your freaking discography is, like, you've got so many things to keep track of. So this is nice. And then access. So this is who has access to the song. So right now it's my mentor / other producer, James. Ken's got access, and I have access to this. So, yeah, which is really, really cool. And then you have details of the song, so you can have alternative titles, who the artist is. Maybe if I didn't write this for Coburn, it was for Ken. Artist would be Ken. Like, you can add that. Genres, all that kind of stuff. Tempo, time signature. This is fantastic. I think I have met people that make beats that use this too, that are starting to use Session Studio, and being able to put tempo, key signature, time signature, have that all in there so they can organize their beats and stuff has been good for that. So that was cool because it's a different world to me. But yeah, and the other thing I really like is when the song is finished, you can come up here to this little button that says in creation. You can now put it as pitchable, hold, released, so you know it will change the color of it.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I love this feature. It's
cool.
super great. So so yeah, there's so many things in this. That's just the song. Now we can go to playlists. And these are all, like, you can create playlists from the song. So, like, I have one called Learn. I was learning some of the guitar parts to some of the new songs. And that was in here. And actually, I was learning a cover, too, that I was singing for you. I had that in my Learn section. So you can make playlists, which is really cool. You can also loop songs. So if you're learning one of the songs or, you know, you need to write vocals to it, you can have the loop section, which is right down here, if you see that. Super, super great. And also you can make folders for your songs too. So I've made a folder of a lot of the songs that we're working on, and again, you can go into each of these folders and kind of go from there. So I think that's everything as far as Session goes. And I'm so excited about this because of how unorganized I have been.
Yeah, it's been a big help.
Yeah, and as an independent artist, I don't have a team of like 50 people keeping everything together, and like, you know, it's us. Yeah. It's like a couple people overseas, and even then, like, as the artist, I'm still responsible for keeping all of this straight, and you know, having all of this information in one place has been powerful and incredibly helpful. So highly recommend, if you aren't on the Session Studio grind yet, try it because it's game changing. It truly is. And I will only talk about things I truly believe in, and I really believe in this. So yeah. And they're really nice people.
They are. They're
yes.
People.
Have I driven too far?
No, I think that's a better breakdown than I could have done.
Okay, wicked breakdown. Double kick. Okay, I will move. You can drive now.
I will get back to driving. Why don't we go to Nolan Monagold's segment? Nolan has put together a segment, Surviving Independent Artist Land. So if you guys have that queued up, let's go to Nolan, and Coburn and I will take a 4-minute break.
What's up, everybody? Nolan here at the Chapter Room. Ken asked me to talk a little bit about the indie work that I do here in Cincinnati, and I just wanted to hop on and tell you guys a little bit about it. So one of the favorite things that I get to do is recording bands of all genres and all skill levels. I had a band in today that was recording their first record and their first time in the studio actually ever, and that's one of my favorite things because I really get the opportunity to show them the first good experience, and if it's their first experience in general, that's 10 times better. Really showing the client what they're capable of performing and also what they should be getting, even from day one if they've never stepped behind a microphone before. That's a ridiculously important thing, especially for these indie clients. That's also something that I like to continue over onto the live sound events that I do. I put together a First Friday series of concerts called First Fridays at Bellevue Pavilion, and those have come directly from my experience doing house shows back in college and just free public events that really try to give opportunities to young bands that are starting. You can see some flyers here back on this little piece of flyer paper, but all of those are different past shows where we gave opportunities to young artists that might not have the opportunity to get on a stage in front of 200 to 500 people. I've seen a whole bunch of shows that I can trace back a little bit to like the first times that they met playing at a Bellevue show, and getting to see people really take the opportunity and run with it. That is something that I absolutely love here in Cincinnati. Another big factor that people don't take into account with indie work is the amount of back end that you have to do. This is my own studio here that I run with 3 other people, and I am absolutely thrilled that I get to spend every day working here. However, am I absolutely thrilled that sometimes I've got to fix a little bit of a leak that's coming in from the top ceiling, or have to worry about, are we actually going to be able to keep all of our gear here if we decide to move out? What can I actually install permanently versus what has to be able to be just immediately easily removed? Those are really big factors that you don't typically have to take into consideration when you're working just as a regular engineer going in and out working at a big label or a big studio space. For example, each one of these panels right here was hand-built by us for the studio, but they were also built in a way that you can very easily take them down with just 2 little pin hooks. Same with everything up above. Again, you can see a little bit of the repair work that we need to do, but that's just part of owning a space. The last thing that I really do want to touch upon is the importance of how you represent the community that you are a part of. I'm so very proud to represent some of these artists in rooms that they might not get a chance to be in, and I also hope that I am represented as such from their perspective. It's always a two-way street, but it's something that if you lead by example and are always just trying to do the best thing at the end of the day, how much money have I passed up by providing free concerts rather than charging even $5 or $10? I could be in a completely different place right now, but throwing events from a perspective of building community and really getting these people together, we were able to apply for National Endowment of the Arts funding through ArtsWave. And because of that, we're now able to pay all of these bands that are maybe getting the biggest paycheck that they've had yet in their careers. It's never enough, but it's something that we work really hard to get to be able to do, and I'm really proud that that's something that we've been able to do this year. If you keep growing with that intent of making it about the community, indies are nothing without their community. Ken always says you can never... Fame is gone these days. It's how big you can build your community. That's something that I love about being involved with the indie community here in Cincinnati. Thank you, Ken Lewis and Mixing Night community, for giving us all this opportunity and letting me get on here and yap. Some good resources to find out what's happening in Cincinnati. City Beat magazine, Surround Sound zine. There's a place called the House Show Finder, and a whole bunch of other like young artists that are putting together flyers and collecting all the different stuff. And more importantly, find out who's playing in the small dive bar and the young college club in your town, because that is the level of support that indies need. You can spend $400 on a concert ticket. I just did, and I'm telling you, I had a better time on an $11 concert that I spent and got a $3 beer at the Northside Tavern the other day. So take that for what you will. Thank you, Ken. Have a great mixing night.
We are back. Thank you, Nolan. That was a great spot. Yeah, the challenges of being in a smaller market are tough. I don't wish that on anybody. And I'm in a smaller market, but I don't get my work from Cincinnati, so that helps. Except for you. You were the needle in the frickin' haystack. Can I tell them how I found you?
Please do.
Okay.
I love this story.
So when I moved back, so I was in the New York City area for 29 years, and we moved back to the Cincinnati area just over 3 years ago. And I went on to the Reddit forums, and I posted up a thread in the Cincinnati thread that said, list every musical artist in the greater Cincinnati area that has any shot of going national. And it just flooded with suggestions. There had to be 5 or 6 dozen suggestions minimum of artists, and I listened to every single one of them. And the only one that tweaked my spidey senses was somebody posted up, you should listen to Aaron Coburn. And I didn't know if Aaron was a girl or a guy. And I didn't, I was like, okay, I'm going to go listen to Aaron Coburn. And I listened to Sleeve was one of the things that I listened to, and anything else I could find. And my first thought was, she's not there yet, but this is really fucking good, and I need to really pay attention to her. So I kind of, followed you on socials, and I just started paying attention for like 8 months solid. And then you and I connected, and it turns out that we have family friends, and that me and my wife know your parents. Yep. And we've actually hung out before.
Before I was even born.
Before you were even born. I think when your mom was pregnant with you, we all played cards together.
Crazy.
So just mind-blowing how these things kind of cross like that. But, like, I consider you the needle in the haystack because I picked you out of every single one of those artists in Cincinnati, and then our families knew each other. It was just nuts. When you talk about karma or destiny or
the
that,
world brought it.
yeah, that's the kind of things that I think about. Let's take some questions from the chat roll. Fire away if you got them. But I got one from Jalen Goins right here. Jalen says, hey, Ken and Coburn, what social media platform works best for sync opportunities? Is it YouTube, LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah? None of them. Music supervisors aren't going to you unless you're represented by a sync agency. I would say otherwise it's probably Spotify. Because they're probably searching for a ton of music, so they're probably on Spotify looking like, okay, who's...
Like the song, right?
Yeah, somebody might have recommended an artist to them, and they'll just go to their Spotify page, and they'll listen, or their SoundCloud, or something like that. But, maybe on occasion socials move the needle in sync, but for the most part, they don't. It's just sync is its own entity and its own animal, and that's just the way that it works. Another question. Raw Wild asks, hey, Ken, were you originally a recording engineer? Yes, I was. I started I graduated Berkeley December 1991, came back to the Cincinnati area, engineered at a studio in Dayton for a year, moved to New York City, started as an intern, then an assistant, then by the end of my first year in New York City at Soundtrack Recording, I was the #1 engineer in a 6-room, ended up 9-room facility, and I just made myself the most valuable person in the place. I never said no to a gig. I always made myself available. If it was a 40-hour work day, then it was a 40-hour work day, not week, day. And that happened a lot. My first week in New York City was 102 hours my first week. And then I got 1 day off and slept 17 hours and came back for a 92-hour work week. My first week in New York, 102 hours. And that set the tone for like the next 10 years. I started out as a recording engineer, then a mix engineer. I was always a producer, but I didn't really make the hard shift to producer until I started just turning down engineering gigs. And that's kind of the way it goes. Stephen Ramos asks, hey, Ken and Coburn, have you ever been in a bad deal? I've been in a bad publishing deal, for sure.
I've avoided a couple bad deals.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not fun, but the more that you learn from shows like this, the more that you can avoid the bad deals, and, knowledge is power. And so many people that I know that have gotten into bad deals didn't understand the language of the contract, what it meant, how it affected them short-term and long-term. So things like recoupables and how they work and things like advances, and they just didn't know. So the more that you arm yourself with knowledge, the more you can avoid bad deals.
I think someone said earlier they were knowing what to say no to is so important in this industry, because it's so easy to get excited about big things or things that seem like they're really big things and just say yes to everything, because you don't want to miss opportunities as an independent artist.
Right.
But also some opportunities will hurt you more than they will help.
I think the curse is when nobody is checking for you, everything looks like a great opportunity.
Yeah.
When somebody notices you and they're like, hey, we want to sign you and we want to, if nobody else has come at you that way before, you're like,
yeah,
look at what happened here. But then, that may be the worst deal offer in history and may not go well for you.
I remember the first label deal I got offered, and it was awful. And they also, not only did they want some terrible, terrible things and everything, basically, but they wanted me to change what I was doing. They wanted me to release all instrumental music. I wasn't even going to sing on anything. It was just going to be all guitar music, because they just said that will sell, which I'm like, that's not, as an artist, I don't want to compromise that, because I don't want to do that. That's not something that I want to release. So, and at the moment, though, I'm like, well, maybe I should consider it, because it's this is big. This is my first ever, deal that's been offered.
Right.
But they wanted to change, everything about what I wanted, who I wanted to be as an artist,
right.
Which is, you kind of have to weigh that. Don't compromise.
And I will not mention who was fishing for potentially a deal offer for you recently, but you came to me very excited about a potential deal offer.
I was so excited, yes.
And you were like, oh, what do you think? What do you think? And I was like, that doesn't, maybe, but it sounds like probably they're not going to be able to do for you the things that need to be done.
Yeah.
And the things that I tell Coburn a lot is, you have to understand where you're going to be as an artist in 6 months and 1 year, and not make knee-jerk reactions based on where you are right now, but where you are headed to. And like with you have a great social media network, and you will be able to tap into that to launch your project and to build your own story and to get your music out there and to help you build shows and things like that. And so a deal that may be super appealing to another artist that hasn't built that engine yet, you have built that engine. And so some of those deals are just not as appealing.
No, I mean, like that, and also like I had for this record, for these 12 songs, this collection of 12 songs, I self-funded, and I also had Indiegogo, so I was fan-funded as well. So a label can't come in and say, well, we'll pay for your recording. It's already recorded.
Right.
What else can you do, you know?
Right.
And that's when you were talking about distribution deals and how you were saying, like, if they're going to offer distribution, consider, maybe.
Yes. So, yeah, let's talk about a distribution deal real quick, because, like, if anybody remembers, like, the Macklemore record, you know, INDEP, and don't make me spell independent right now, but Macklemore always claimed to be independent. Macklemore is not independent. He's signed to Warner Brothers. But he signed to Warner Brothers in a distribution deal, not a record deal. And the split is... A distribution deal is usually 70-30 or better, 70 for the artist, 30 for the distributor. And if you've got more going on, you can get a better distribution deal than even that. So Macklemore signed to Warner, and then Warner does all of the promotion and marketing, but it's much less risk for them because they've already heard the album that they're acquiring, and they know, okay, this is the album, these are the songs that we think are singles, this is how much we think we're going to spend to promote these singles, and yes, this is a good deal for us, let's sign them. And Macklemore makes the lion's share of the money, and Warner Brothers takes on far less risk, and everybody's happy. So that's a distribution deal, not a record deal.
It's like 30 Tigers, places like that do more distribution deals, don't they? Are they because they're not considered like a label, they're like...
I'll have to ask my friend who works at 30 Tigers.
Okay, yeah, that would be cool, because I've heard a lot of talk about them, so I was just curious.
Yeah, well, my friend Lee Dene has worked at 30 Tigers for a long time, and she's a fantastic person. When she was at Warner Chappell Publishing, I wanted to sign with her.
Yeah.
And then the day that I went and visited Warner Chappell in L.A., there were literally employees walking out the door with everything from their desk in boxes. They had had a massive layoff, and I call Lee, and I'm like, what's going on? She's like, signing freeze, I can't sign you. They just had a massive layoff today. I was like, fuck. That's the way it goes.
Rough.
Kurt Codine asks, hey, Ken and Coburn, if I'm completely unestablished, what would be the first step to getting into sync, aside from releasing music first, obviously? Well, you don't have to release music. You just have to make great music. It's always about the music and the songs. And if you're making great songs, but you're recording them like shit, and you're not singing well on them, and you're half-assing it, nobody wants that. Everybody, like, you've got to consider that a music supervisor can go to a ton of different sync agencies for the same opportunity, and they want to find the absolute best song that they can possibly find. So the competition at sync is fierce, but you don't have to be a known artist at all. You can be up in Alaska in your fucking cabin with your recording setup, and if you make great songs and can record them and make them sound like great songs, you can eat really well at sync. And there's a lot of people making 6 figures a year at sync that you have never heard of in your entire life. So just focus on making great music. It also helps to be a storyteller at sync.
Yeah.
You know, because I find that storytelling songs tend to just sync better. Let's see. DeFingas asks, hey, Ken and Coburn, we are at the halfway mark of the year. Ken, what's a highlight of your year so far other than Magnetic launch and the Sync Spotlight? A highlight of my year is that frickin' Grammy right there. To go along with that frickin' Grammy right there from last year. I had a 32-year drought for statues. I came so close several times. In my opinion, I should have 5, but I am super happy with 2. So that was definitely a highlight of my year. Working with this girl has been a super highlight of my year. And, you know, as a producer and as a songwriter and as a creative, you always just want to work with highly talented people that are not shit humans. And she is a fantastic human and a fantastic creative. So
Yay for being not shit!
So what's some of the highlights of your year?
This project, working with you, working with George, working with James, meeting everyone that's been involved in this project has been the highlight. Because that's literally, I've been living and breathing this. Like, I've actually taken a step back from posting, like, lots of guitar videos on social media, and that used to be the highlight of my year because I got to connect with people, you know, like last year that was the highlight because I was working with brands I never thought I'd work with. I was doing guitar riffs and they were like doing well on socials, and then this year I'm like, okay, in order to make space for the thing that I want to bring into this world, the new project, I need to make that take a back seat. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way right now. That's the highlight.
Awesome.
I love it.
I'm super glad to be a part of it.
So great.
It's getting to the top of the hour. I want to go over, so if you didn't know, in the description of the video you are watching right now is a packet filled with all of the information that I've been showing you guys all night. And I wanted to just really quickly show you 3 panels that go over artist income, engineering income, and producer income. I'm not going to break them down, but I want you guys to know that they exist. They're in, I don't know what the thing is called in the description, but if anybody from Mixing Night is on the chat roll, post it up and let them know which link to click. But this, we put this together as like, here's all of the different potential income streams that you have accessible to you as a producer, and as an engineer, and as an artist. So go click that link, download all of that stuff. If you're in school, share it with your schoolmates. If you're in a band or you have collaborators, share it with them. I find knowledge to be power. The more that you understand about the way this industry works, the better that you can navigate it, the more confidently that you can navigate it, the more you will keep yourself away from shit deals and shit people. And the more money that you will find, and you know, the more success that you'll find. So please go grab the full package. We put all of that together for you guys. Share it, post it, do whatever you want with it. It's yours to level yourselves up. You want to take a few more questions and then call it a night?
Yeah.
Let's see. Do we have any more on the...
Thanks to Fingas.
Nason asks, hey Ken and Coburn, what bar or standard do we target our mixes towards? I've just been doing A/B comparisons on Visualizer with a reference track. I'd love to trust my ears, but I don't have that kind of confidence yet. Well, a Visualizer is a terrible way to A/B anything because different things could be visualizing in different ways. But you want to find songs that are, like, my favorite question to ask a client before I mix a song for them is, if you could pick your playlist and, you know, what is the playlist that you would love to hear this song on? I want to know the playlist, and I want to know what song comes before and after your song. And isn't that like
such a great question?
And that really makes you ponder and think, like, wait a second. Oh, I think my song would sit really well next to, you know, Lil Wayne and Kendrick. Like, oh shit. Okay, so you go and you start A/Bing your song against those songs, and you try and get your mix to compete with those mixes. And that's a really good way to use reference material. And as an artist, the question that I like to ask artists a lot is, if you could open for any artist that you feel like their fan base would love your music, who's that artist? And that will tell you a lot about yourself that maybe you hadn't thought about. You're like, oh, whose fans would, not what artist would love me, but whose fans would love the music that I'm creating. And I think that'll tell you a lot about yourself as an artist or yourself as a producer or songwriter, creative, things like that. Shout out to Jimmy Larice. Great to see you, brother. Happy birthday. Who else we got on the chat room?
Astro Joey, thank you.
Astro Joey, Baby Chemist, Afel, Mac Joseph, good to see you. Who else we got? The New Track Cats, Kurt Codeine, Faders Up. If anybody has any other questions, fire away. If we have any other questions, put them up on Miro.
Oh, I have something.
Hit me.
There's something that I wanted to touch on because I've actually had this conversation with several artists lately that I really look up to. And I think a lot of the people I've had this conversation with have gone through a similar journey where they started as an artist and then they went into content creator, where they were doing lots of videos for brands and, you know, for like different pieces of gear and things like that. And then now they're trying to go back to being an artist, but people got used to seeing them with the gear side of things. So what I would, like, this is like just random advice, I guess, or random opinion, maybe not advice, but random experience. Because a lot of people are like, oh, you have to be a content creator in order to be an artist. I think they're two separate things. And I think you have to be careful and know what your goal is, whether you want to be a content creator full-time or you want to be an artist. I think you can be both, but it's trickier. So, like, knowing what your voice is on social media is really important. Whether you want to be informative or whether you want to be like, this is my art. I think having those things separate can be kind of important, because I've been struggling with that. Like, hence why, like, I'm like, oh, I need to post a video. I'm like, wait a minute. No, I need to finish this song. That's my priority. Yeah. But, like, I've come in here before, and I'm like, I haven't posted a video in a week. I've lost, like, 200 followers on Instagram, and I've lost followers on Instagram because I haven't been posting as consistently. But I know that those people were there for the gear videos, and they may not be the ones that listen to the new music. But when I start posting the new music and the videos about the new music, I'll get followers that like that. So, anyway, random word of advice, or again, experience is, like, know what your goal is on social media, and be careful on those lines that you tread. Because that's what I've been discovering lately. I'm like, wow, you know, I have friends, a lot of friends I've been talking to that experience that, and they have tons of followers.
I think the other side of that coin as well is, especially if you are an artist and or want to make that transition to an artist, don't be posting gear videos just to make a buck.
Yeah.
Only rep companies and pieces of gear that you would use yourself, that you love, that you really connect with. And that's one of the things I love about you. Like, when you're posting up gear things, I know, like, you use that shit. I see you use that stuff.
And I've learned, you never say, this is the best product. You always say, this is what I like. This is what I think is the best for me, and you might like it too. But, like, I think you have to be careful about saying this is the best or this is the only way, because then everyone gets fired up. Unless that's what you're trying to do.
That's true. But for me with Mixing Night, one of the things that I feel like I've built over the last 6 years of the show is true authenticity. I never, ever tell you guys anything that I don't believe. I never use gear that I wouldn't use on a record that I'm making. And if I'm telling it to you, you can better believe that I believe it. And I feel like that translates into everything that I do. And it makes everything so easy because you don't have to remember, like, I've got to pretend to... Blah, blah, blah. No, I use that shit. Yeah. I believe in that. It's just my tools. Yes. And I've found you to be the exact same way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like authenticity, especially if you want to be an artist, is everything, because if they don't believe you're an authentic artist, they will never connect with your music. Nope. So take that to the bank.
Yes. That's good advice.
Let's see.
My Spotify link is, the new one is not up yet. So once the new music releases, it will be under Coburn. But right now, all of my old music is under Aaron Coburn, and I was very young when I recorded it, so... That's, yeah. But when it's time, when it's released, the link will be out, Mac.
Yeah, and her socials are at Coburn Official.
Mm-hmm. Updates will be on
the
there,
artist name is, I don't even ever call you Aaron.
It feels weird when people call me Aaron.
Aaron. I'm just like,
Coburn's
Coburn.
more fun.
Yeah. You're always just Coburn to me. And so, I don't know, I'm just so used to that.
Me too.
Let's see, do we have any other questions? I think we're wrapping up. thank you all for joining us. We had a fantastic time tonight. Great having you all joining us. The chat.
Marcus.
Oh, do we have to go? Oh, shit, I forgot Marcus. Let's go to Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery. I totally forgot to run his segment. We'll run that, and then we'll come back for a quick goodbye. If you got any last questions that you want to hang out and get us to answer, post them up on the chat, and we'll do a last Q&A before we wrap up for the night. And here is Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery. For those who were not on the broadcast previously, I would like to welcome a new member to the Mixing Night broadcast show, Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery.
I'm not going to play the whole clip, but I did want to shout out the whole Mixing Night family, Ken, Lori, Dom, Mazzy, Nolan, Jonathan, the whole squad for their support over the last 5 years. This is 5 years of the Mixing Night Man of Mystery moment. Thank you for the support. We're not stopping. More to come. Check out this segment. Here we go. What's good, Mixing Night family? This is Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery, back with another Mixing Night Man of Mystery moment. In this Mixing Night Man of Mystery moment, we're going to talk about ways that you can level up as an independent artist, starting with some conferences you should have on your radar. We're going to start up with the Level Up Sync Conference. This is a fully virtual conference going down on August 2nd. You can check out. There is a discount too. I can give you a code. If you use the code LUDAFINGAS, L-U for Level Up, and then DaFingas, D-A-F-I-N-G-A-Z, you can get 40%, I believe, off of the ticket price. And there will be a Sync Stars panel. There will be networking, gaming, and trailer legends. I'll be moderating that panel. Pitching sessions. So there's a lot here that you can check out. The Level Up Sync Conference. The other conference last year, Ken Lewis and Michael Moss were on the trailer panel for this one. This is the Production Music Conference run by the Production Music Association. This is happening October 7th through October 9th in LA, but you can also get a virtual ticket. Definitely check out the Production Music Conference. Join the Production Music Association because they are doing networking events where you can network with music production libraries. You can network with sync agents, sync libraries, trailer houses, and other collaborators. So definitely check that out. Next, LinkedIn. I have my LinkedIn algorithm set to sort of give me trailers and sync licensing things, but use LinkedIn. I've been really diving in LinkedIn over the last year. You can see the top post that I have right now is a trailer, Superman International trailer. There's one here of a conference, VidCon. I didn't go to that, but VidCon conference, some sync stuff. LinkedIn can be a great way to sort of stay up to date with trends and also to connect with people at companies. Next, we're going to talk about some performances you can apply for. South by Southwest. I did my first South by Southwest panel this year in Austin. I also had activations in South by Southwest London, and hopefully we'll be getting to South by Southwest Sydney. If you want to apply for Austin, you can go to this site, sxsw.com/apply/showcase-applications, and you can apply. There might be a fee, but you can apply to perform at South by Southwest on one of the many stages. So definitely check out and apply. There is a fee again, but check out how you can be a part of South by Southwest and bookmark this page. They haven't announced it yet, but Bands at NAMM. Usually this opens up around July, August, where you can apply to perform at NAMM, which is also in California. So there's all these conferences that exist. They may have performance opportunities for you. So definitely check out how you can perform. Now, the other thing, when I'm researching trailers, I go to YouTube. Or if I'm researching anything, I go to YouTube. If I want to look up sync panels, I just go to YouTube, type in sync panels, and start going through some of the results. For trailers, to keep my sort of ear tuned to trailer space, I type in trailers this week, and I look for playlists that have like 15, 20 minutes or something like this, where I can play a bunch of trailers at once while like driving around or doing whatever. Get my ear tuned to these trailers. Here's one that's an hour long. Next, going back to the conferences, shout out to Excalibur Zero. I've had him on a couple panels. This is him at my NAMM panel from a couple years ago, and then the NAMM panel from last year. Excalibur Zero is also the founder of Super Selective, another sync agency. He has a list of upcoming sync conferences. He'll also be a panelist at the Level Up Sync Conference in August, as I mentioned earlier. But if you scroll down his page, you want to look for this post here and comment the word calendar. He will send you a calendar of the upcoming sync licensing events. And there's still, you have 6 months left. There's still a lot happening the rest of the year. So definitely check out his calendar. Shout out to Excalibur Zero. And last but not least, I'm going to jump over to ChatGPT. I haven't tried this before. We're going to try this now. Put in this prompt, basically asking ChatGPT to give me a chart to help me level up my music career as an independent music artist. And it gave me all these different categories. I did give it some suggestions, and it helped me to identify some ways that I could level up. Gave me some websites because I asked to give me websites, and it also gave me basically some tips about using these things. You can do something like that. I'm not going to read through all these right now. You can go back and scroll through this segment. And then it gave me a plan from zero budget, starting plan for 6 weeks. That's a month and a half. Then I can do a downloadable thing from there if I want to. So you can use AI to help you level up your music career. And it does this in like 1 minute, 2 minutes. So that is a couple of ways: conferences, networking, getting performance opportunities using AI. That's a couple of ways to get out there and level up your music career. This has been Marcus Manderson with another Mixing Night Meta Mystery moment. Be safe and be well, everyone. All right. Peace. Peace.
We are back. Thank you, Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery.
Yay.
Marcus has been with us since virtually the beginning of the show. He's fantastic. All right, we're going to take a couple more questions. We got Jimmy Larice asks, hey, Ken, how are you liking the Dutch & Dutch 8Cs, which are these big white speakers right here, compared to the ATMOS, which are my other main LR plus my ATMOS array? I love them both. They sound different. The Dutch & Dutch 8Cs are more like mastering speakers. So, I mean, I can mix on them, but they're just the super, super high quality. Sound frickin' amazing and get as loud as you want. They have two 8-inch speakers pointing out the back on each side. So these white speakers have 6 8s and 2 tweeters. Yeah, frickin' nuts. The ATMOS also sound great. It's just kind of a different picture. And there's no way I could afford an array of Dutch & Dutch for ATMOS, and the ATMOS are a fantastic ATMOS array. So I'm super happy with both sets. Mr. SJK asks, hey Ken, when do you use dynamic ducking, EQ, or effects, and when not? Mixing Night Audio is actually going into alpha testing right now for our new delay plugin, which has ducking on it, which I dialed in myself. Sounds frickin' fantastic. So I use it on delays a lot when I want to keep the delay returns or the repeats away from the lead vocal until the lead vocal stops singing, and then the delays come up. Other than that, ducking, sometimes I will use the kick drum to duck just the low frequency of the bass line only when the kick hits. I've shown that on Mixing Night before. I'll show it again at some point. But that just kind of keeps the low-end energy really solid, and you don't miss the momentary frequency carve-out of the bass line. So I'd say those are the main times that I use ducking, not many other times. Philodorus asks, hey Ken, have you ever produced or mixed artists from Germany? Well, first off, my partner in Mixing Night Audio is Dom Ravinius, and he's German, and we founded Mixing Night over 5 years ago, me and Dom and Lori, during lockdown, during the pandemic. That's when Mixing Night started. We have been going since lockdown. Wow. And Dom was over from Germany on a business trip, and he got stuck over in America, so he stayed with us for 3 months, and we started the show. That's how it happened.
Aufregend.
So, yeah. And yeah, you're learning German right now. This crazy girl's learning German. And then my current musical partner, Michael Moss, the movie trailer boss, is a German as well, and he's co-owner of Magnetic with me and Doug Brandt. So there's that. I have worked with other German artists. I can't remember who they are offhand. I've worked with a lot of artists. It's kind of hard to keep them all straight. Rafay asks, hey Ken, does Magnetic take tracks from new artists for sync placement? Well, we don't take tracks for sync placement. We review artists to see if we want to sign them to our agency for representation. We don't sign songs. We sign artists with catalog that we think that we can really move the needle on at sync. So, if you think you have great, if you're not ready for sync yet, please don't waste my time. But if you think like, you know what, I have these really, really great songs, and they sound like they should be in film and TV right now, then reach out to me, send me a listen link, and I will listen to one. And if you get past one, I'll listen to two. And if you keep going, then I might talk to you about, being on the agency. But we have a very high bar. And you're competing against artists like Coburn. I mean, this girl throws down. So careful what you wish for. But, if there's a lot of insanely talented artists out there that have nothing going on. And I don't care if you've got, 10 million followers or 10, as long as you're making great music, we want to hear it. Thanks. So there you go. Yeah. You can reach out on my website, kenlewis.com. I've got a contact form, and you can reach me through my contact form at kenlewis.com. And if you haven't seen my credit list, you can see it at kenlewis.com. and you will definitely see a lot of things that you are familiar with. Do you see any other questions up there that we've missed?
I don't think so.
All right. I think we are going to wrap up mixing night for Independence Night. Thank you all for hanging out with us. You got any famous last words for us?
Famous last words? Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Have a great night.